Well, today's interview was with a woman who is as tough as nails and kicked cancer's butt this week. So, with that said, I'm bringing you longtime Southern Miss women's basketball head coach, Coach Joye Lee-McNelis. And, Coach, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderful, as fired up as you are. This week has been a special week. I finished my last treatment on Monday with radiation, finished my last treatment with chemo the week before, got to walk through, ring the bell. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to ring the bell. I said, let's just don't make it a big deal. I said, Coach, it is a big deal. And
Big deal.
I was like, God's got it all in his hands. I'm okay. And so they said, you have to do that. And the cool thing, and a shout out to the Cancer Center, almost every one of their employees wore black and gold or wore a Southern Miss shirt. And I was just, when I went in, I was just really shocked at how much black and gold filled the Cancer Center. And it just made chills go all over me just to think that someone thought that was so important. But I walked out, family, friends, our team was here. And a lot of video was going on. And, you never know, Marchant, how or if someone is watching or listening and their life is in the pits too. Because I'm going to tell you, as much as I have hugged the toilet from throwing up for 6 weeks straight, and I'm 61. What happens when I would look around that room and there are women and men that are probably 80, 85? I just can't imagine how that is, because I would be so weak that then I would have to go lay in bed, take a nap to be able to get some strength back. And it just broke my heart. Actually, while I was in the center waiting for myself to be called back, Travel One or something, it's a taxi service we have here. They got a little old lady off of it. They put her in a wheelchair and brought her in, and she was sitting fairly close to me, but I could hear her talking. And the person next to her, I don't know if she knew or not, she asked where they lived. And so they told her, and she says, well, I don't have a way to get back after my treatment. Now, that is sad. That is really sad. She said, I have no family. I have no one here. And I had to catch the taxi, but he can't take me back. I'm like, that is so sad. So there are so many people that are suffering from a lot of different things that me and you don't even know about, nor does anyone else. And, it's truly my prayer every morning that God wraps his arms around those people. And because I'm telling you, when you're sick and throwing up, depression sets in. No one is above being depressed. No one is above feeling anxiety. You get hit with all that. And I will tell you, I always got a card at the right time or a text at the right time. And, it was really meaningful. And I don't think people know or realize, when you take the time to reach out to someone that's struggling, you don't know what time in their life they are right now. And I can tell you, it was amazing how God used people to help inspire me.
Coach, that's incredible. And yeah, a lot of times in life, what you're dealing with, the perspective, what other people's dealing with, and just to the extreme with everything you got through. But wow, what an unbelievable social media post with you ringing that bell this week, and this show with you today on it. You're so inspirational, motivational. We'll talk basketball, but I definitely want to talk about your journey. It's been an incredible, motivating journey to a lot of people. Last August, you were in remission for 2 years, and you got notice that cancer had come back in an advanced stage in your lungs. And, that was just tough news for you. And then, in November, you got some really sad news with the passing of your father. You still coached during the season. You were dealing with treatment. You had to go to practice, coach games. Coach, how did you fight through this, and just talk about that journey?
Well, I'll tell you, in August, when I got the news that a tumor had returned in the lung tissue, in my heart tissue. And they said, now cancer don't go to the heart, but the tumor is sitting on your tissue. That was on August the 14th. I found that out. On August the 16th, Dr. Robbins, which is a surgeon here in Hattiesburg, a thoracic surgeon, he went in, did surgery. They cut my rib because now the tumor had attached to my rib. It had floated across and attached to my rib. So he went in and cut the rib, got the tumor, and found some other little spots in there that didn't show up on the scan. So we thought at the end of that I was going to be okay, that it was not going to be a big deal. And even after that surgery, I was back in the office. I hurt, but I took medication and was able, because our players were reporting, we were getting started and everything. So overall, the timing was pretty good, but still I felt like I needed to be here. Well, then I don't have to do chemo. They think they get it all. I just take a pill. That's the drug to be able to keep it. Tagresso is a drug that I take every day. Tagresso, which I learned from MD Anderson, keeps the cancer from going to the brain. So I take that constantly. I've taken it for several years. And so we did the surgery. We thought everything was fine. And so then when we did a PET scan, in 1st of December, we found out that, well, what happened was I got pneumonia. And it was just really weird. I'd been with my dad in the hospital the whole time, actually missed 2 games while I was with him. He and I got to watch one game together on my computer, and then the other one was in his last hour. So I wasn't able to be there, but I was able to be with the most important person in my life at that time, my dad. And so we went through all of that, thought everything was fine, did a scan in late December, and found out the tumor was back. And that with my pneumonia, because I still had pneumonia, did not know how bad it was because you couldn't see. It was all foggy. And you couldn't see really the tumor. You couldn't see any of that. So again, I did oral medication. Then we get to, because you have to wait till all that infection's out before they can do anything. So we play in the conference tournament, and I am just sick. I am really, really sick. And they told me to come. When we got beat, I went straight from the Pensacola Center, the Civic Center, straight to the ER in Hattiesburg, and they put me in the hospital. And it was finally clear enough that they could see the tumor. And so from that point is when I started the radiation, the chemo. And I will tell you, from our game at Louisiana Monroe, the only reason I made that game is my brother Lewis has a motorhome, and he took me in the motorhome because I had to do treatment that morning. I slept in his bed on the motorhome all the way there, got up and coached, and then slept coming all the way back. But that was a real hard time for me, to be honest with you. But I'm going to tell you, I had, and I still have, a group of coaches that took over. And, I think the most awesome thing too is it wasn't like I was not there. It just continued to climb, and I trusted them. Jack Trosper was my associate head, and he just ran the show. And then you have Barbara Ferris that played in the WNBA and coached in the WNBA. And then you got Jessica Barber, Matt Garner, and then my son was on board with them to help. And they did an amazing job. And, when I got the Courageous Award for Pat Summit, I said, this award is part of their award, because there is no way that I could have done it without a great staff. I mean, I would have probably had to resign because I was so sick. That was the deal. I can remember we played at Old Dominion, and we went into the club room. I think it was a Marriott or a Hilton, where you have so many points, you get to go in there to eat or whatever. So it was 6:30 in the morning. And when my coaches walked in, I was laying on a couch. And Jack said, "You're not going to shoot around today." I said, "Jack, yes, I am. I have to." He said, "Coach, you're not, you can't even sit up without throwing up. And so anyway, from that point, they took control of game day for me for the rest of the games. And that way, when I went to bed at night, which I sleep about 10 hours now, when I went to bed at night, I slept all the way till time to get dressed for the game. And they were amazing. I mean, I have to give them so much credit for me to be able to continue to do what I was doing at that time.
Coach, wow. I mean, it was just unbelievable story. And you're a deep woman of faith. You said coaching is a calling from God. It's bigger than X's and O's. Lord works in mysterious ways sometimes. And, sometimes you couldn't coach maybe 100% with your physical efforts, but dang, you were inspiring people. So is that one of those times maybe the Lord was working in mysterious ways, Coach?
Exactly right. I do believe that. I believe God had a plan. I think that, there were many people out there that might have been looking for something to hold on to. And it was my prayer that as I go through this battle, that I could touch someone's life, because, there's going to come a day where we all are going to meet him in heaven, those that are ready. And if I could just touch one person through all of this, it would be so beneficial for them and God. And, I have a heart after going through all of this and sitting in that cancer center. My heart is bigger than it's ever been for the elderly. And it is really, really sad, because here I am leaning over, feel like I'm going to throw up while I'm in the waiting room. And there they are sitting, some of them by themselves. And I know they feel the same way I feel because they're taking chemo. Chemo will make you sick. One of the things that I did pass up, Marchant, they put me on a drug in the end of October. And I think people need to hear this part. They put me on a drug the end of October called Keytruda. Keytruda is advertised on TV. And so I started it as a maintenance drug till they could really see what was going on. So I started Keytruda. I lost strength in my legs, started with neuropathy, which I still have neuropathy in my toes. So I went to my neurologist, Dr. Helveston, and he said, Joy, if you do not get off that drug, it's going to kill you. He says all the side effects of that drug. So I go back, I talked to my pulmonologist. He said the same thing, Joy, you got to get ROM to get you off that drug because you have the reaction, you're having reactions that can kill you. He said, I'm just telling you, you can die from Keytruda. So I went back and see all that time. I mean, I was throwing up during all that. And I had fallen. I still have this is my last fall. See my Band-Aid? Because I had no balance because of the muscles in my legs. And praise the Lord, Dr. Rom took me off of Keytruda for a month, and it made a major difference. And then that's when I started the chemo. But there's so many people in our community and in surrounding areas that need help and that need prayer. Prayer is one of the things that can change lives, because I do believe in God, and I do know God, like you said, works in mysterious ways. He really, really does. And that's one of the reasons, I've tried to help raise money for the Cancer Center with the navigation fund. It's all tax deductible. You just call Forest General Hospital and ask for their navigation fund, and it all goes to help get someone to the doctor or get someone from the doctor. And that's my heart right now, is as many people as we can help get to their appointments. Or because if they don't go to their appointments, they're not living. That's over. And, we really need to do that. And I would encourage anybody that's watching or listening to add our elderly to your prayer list, add our young people to your prayer list that are fighting cancer, or any sickness. There's all kinds. We just had a recruit on campus, Marchant. Her dad had cancer or has cancer, and her youngest sister had cancer. And that's all in the same family, and they all had it at the same time. It was unbelievable. And so, I do think God has used me, and I want him if he can find, I'm just a vessel. And if he can find a way to use me, then use me so that we can impact lives of others and make people aware. Because I'm telling you, in August, if I wouldn't have had a PET scan, I'd have never known. I just knew I hurt where my heart was. And I thought I was having heart issues, and it wasn't. It was the cancer of where it is. So I just encourage people, lift someone up, smile at someone, because you don't ever know. That might be the smile they needed for the day.
No, that's fantastic right there, Coach. I was even going to ask you a message for somebody struggling, and that's just really what you can do. Or just smile at your fellow human being, respect your fellow human. You never know what they're dealing with. So that's
Oh,
powerful stuff right there, Coach. And
Hattie's Burgers and Blues. Burgers, craft beer, music. Downtown Hattiesburg.
And the Lord is working through you without a doubt for cancer awareness. You know, the color pink, obviously big with cancer awareness. That's, well, look at pink, I think of cancer now, and you and your program do such above and beyond work. I mean, you had the Play for K game in February of this year for money to be raised for the K Yao Fund, and talk about that game and just the amount of cancer awareness that you and your program continue to bring.
you know, Kay Yao, Coach Yao, I knew her way before she ever had cancer. And she had a giver's heart. She did. And, she fought it long and hard. And, her chemo that she took, which people that have cancer understand this, they have a chemo that's called the Red Devil.
Hmm.
And praise the Lord, I hope I never have to have it. I've not had it. I don't want to have it. But she fought through that. She even was on the sideline in wheelchair trying to get through to be able to help her team. And they had a great year. But I was so thrilled when Coach Yao and players that played for her really started that foundation and creating awareness, getting grants for people to be able to get to doctors or go through the treatment. Because I'm telling you, treatment's not cheap. You have your insurance part, but if you don't have a cancer policy, holy smoke, I don't have a cancer policy. Tell me how crazy that is.
Mm.
But I mean, they need resources to be able to help them. And Coach Yao did that and has brought so much awareness to women and men that have breast cancer. And some people say men, yeah, men have it too. You don't know that, but it's not publicized. But I'm just telling you, you have to be aware of your body. And that's what I think one thing cancer teaches you. It taught me that when something's not right, there is a reason it's not right. And you need to find out why. But Coach Yao's amazing. Her staff that's still running the Yao Foundation and raising money, creating awareness of cancer and paying attention to your body. It was just a game changer for us. And I actually, right here in front of me, I have my camp brochure.
Back it up a little, Coach, so we can see that. There you go. There you go. The camp brochure. Yep.
Yeah, that was our pink game. And to be able to, we invited doctors, we had, women that had breast cancer, and actually we saluted all cancers that night. So anyone that had cancer was able to get in free. The doctors were there, which was really awesome. We had several of the cancer doctors as honorary coaches, and so that they could see, because you're creating an awareness for cancer, but at the same time, you're creating awareness for Lady Eagle basketball. It goes hand in hand, and we are women. We could have breast cancer. What they say, 1 in 3 people have breast cancer. And so it brought awareness to our own team to understand exactly the importance of daily routine checks. But again, what an amazing woman. And I'm so thankful that she started that. So it does create awareness for our cancers.
Oh, Coach, good stuff right there. And so the promotion of the camp, you had a great leader. You can learn the game of basketball by with those camps. And Coach, anything else you might want to promote right now going on?
No, well, if our basketball camps start up the 1st of June,
Okay.
one of my favorites is the kids camp.
Oh yeah.
4 years old. We had 70 something kids last year. We had one little girl. It's funny. She came to the game this year. She was in camp and she came up to me crying and she said, Coach, it's time for my cartoons. I said, what? She said, I have to watch my cartoons. I said, okay. Your mom didn't pay for you to come here to watch cartoons. Just a boo-hooing. So I brought her up here in my office, put her cartoons on, and after it was over, she was fine. I took her back downstairs. Is that not funny?
No, well, that's all. I feel her pain. I mean, I was a He-Man and G.I. Joe guy growing up. I missed my He-Man, G.I. Joe. I started crying on you too. So good stuff right there, coaching. That's awesome. So
let me give the website they can go to.
Okay.
JLM basketball camps with an S.com. JLM basketball camps with an S.com. And that's where you sign up, register, see what camps we offer. But don't think if you have a 4-year-old child and they've never done it before, it's okay. There's a lot. They have the most fun, and our players are absolutely amazing with them.
Oh, good stuff right there. And you hit the key word, fun. It's all about having fun. And Coach, amazing journey, amazing story of inspiration. I mean, they're in the person in the Southern Miss world more inspirational with you. I mean, people around the nation came and talked on your behalf. I mean, this is awesome. And speaking of inspiration, that inspired your basketball team to make the postseason in WNIT. And something really cool happened. You had 20 wins, back-to-back 21 seasons, first time really a decade doing that. But in the WNIT, you were down to 7 players.
Yep.
With everything going on with transfer portal. And there it is. It created this, scoot it up a little more closer, Coach, so we can see it because that little glare, back it up. There you go. We can see the Magnificent Seven, inspirational off of a famous show from back in the day. And I tell you what, it became a hit on social media. I couldn't help but run with it, play the theme song from the show. And how cool was that? You guys making that run at WNIT with one of the coolest nicknames, the Magnificent Seven, doing it, inspired by you.
Yeah, actually, at the first, I think it was the first game, Dom Davis's family, they had a shirt themselves that they had made about the Magnificent Seven. And so we took it and just ran with it. Our marketing department did a phenomenal job. And, I will tell you, that group of young ladies played with tremendous heart and soul.
Oh.
The transfer portal started, which I think the transfer portal really should not open until season's over. And that affected us. It affected a lot of teams. Some teams had to drop out of the tournament, the WNIT, because they got down to not even 5. But our Magnificent Seven held true to the course. We were led by Dom, obviously, but Malia Grayson, you got Jacoria Bracey, and Michaela Manley had never played very much. And she came in, scored for us in those 2 games. So, we talked to them about, you never know when the opportunity comes. You just got to be ready for it. And, I just think what that group of young ladies did will go down in one of my all-time favorites, because they became legends by fighting through with 7 players.
Yes, they did. And Coach, they became magnificent.
That's right.
So a little play on words right there. And you said a name right there, one of the greatest basketball players in history of Southern Miss, Dominique Davis. We had to say goodbye to her after that last game at WNIT. And, she got a lot of love out there on social media. I mean, she's a beloved figure. And how was it like saying goodbye to Dominique?
It was hard. It was really, really hard. Because I will tell you, we all had a special relationship with Dom. And why? She was always in her office. You know, as an athlete, sometimes you feel like, well, I don't really want to go to the coach's office, blah, 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 blah. You know, you've been there before. Dom comes every day. I'll see her today. But she has done that her entire career since she's been with us and has developed relationships with staff members. And I just think that's all a part of it. Like, she comes straight in and she's going to hug me. We had a recruit here the other day, and she came in the door and almost knocked me out of my chair as she jumped in my chair.
Oh,
She's just special. And I think when athletes develop relationships with their head coach and with their assistants, it just really makes your journey as a college athlete better, easier.
oh, good stuff right there. We'll miss her, but she's always going to be part of the family. And I know we'll see Dominique Davis a lot in the future. And speaking of the future, you know, the past, you've been a part of Southern Miss athletics for a long time. You're one of the greatest players to ever dribble a basketball at Reed Green Coliseum. But, you know, we got dated a little bit, needed a few upgrades here and there. Well, what do you know? We got some upgrades coming. Did that kind of make your eyes a little watery? I teared up a little bit knowing what that arena means to a lot of people, and especially you. Seeing those upgrades coming, what that mean to you?
And I just can't wait for them to put a shovel in the ground.
Yeah, they did a little video at the show.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go. You know, because, you know, we do have a lot of memories. Reed Green smells, this has the same smell it had in 1980. It does. You just walk in there, it's the same. They've changed flooring and all that, but none of that changed. And I think that we're long overdue for this opportunity to be able to upgrade. I believe that and we don't have this venue in Hattiesburg. When you have a venue in Hattiesburg that can host thousands of people at one time, the sound system is good, so you can hear what they're saying. You know, a lot of times sound systems are bad, but the sound system would be good. It would be an opportunity, number one, to help basketball in recruiting. They have a practice gym. It would give us more opportunities to be able to get up shots with our players. But for the community, let's just be real. The community can thrive from this new building or updated building, because there's going to be, we can bring in concerts. You know, my first concert I ever went to was Jimmy Buffett, and it's when I was a freshman here. I mean, like Ronnie McDowell is coming to the Sanger on Monday, and they're honoring Mississippi legends, country music. It is almost sold out. That's something you could bring to the Coliseum, and no telling how much money could be made. And so I just think that the renovations is for the university, but it definitely affects the community.
Oh, I love it. And it was just a special time for all us longtime Southern Miss fans. But I even tweeted out, I'm so happy for the young Golden Eagle fans. They're going to have something to really be proud of. And you know, when you walk in from that 4th Street entrance, like, look at this place. All right, let's play some basketball, coach. Play some basketball, though.
Right. Coach. You know, because the one question that you get in recruiting is, what is the commitment of your administration and what is the commitment of the community to the program? And I think when they see that, we won't be asked that question anymore.
Oh, that's awesome. Great stuff right there. And there's nobody more committed to Southern Miss than you. I swear, you might have bled black and gold during your treatments a little bit. I think I heard that rumor, a little black and gold. So, Coach, I mean, thank you so much for being on my show today. And as we come to a wrap of things, there's nobody more inspirational than you in the Southern Miss world. What's a message of inspiration, of hope, of motivation you might have for the Southern Miss fans?
You know, my thought is, in life, there are all kind of challenges, not just cancer. You lose people that you don't know, that you're very close to. And when you look to God and you have God as your pilot of your life, it gives you an opportunity and provides faith for you to grow and make a difference, not just in your life, but in the lives of all the people that are watching. And I am so blessed to be one of those people that have a great faith. And I know that God will take care of it. It might not be in his time, it might not be in my time. And I'll be honest with you, Marchant, a lot of times I want it in my time, not his time. I want to help him. I want to say, okay, what you need me to do next to get this rolling? And, but it's not, it's in his time. And God has called me to be a coach. As I've said on your previous show, I think coaching is a calling. It's not just a job. And I think when you look at it as a job, that's when you know you shouldn't be doing it anymore. And I'm very thankful. So those that are listening, never give up. Look to God for guidance, and it will really make a difference. There are many times I leaned over that toilet. I had my position and I was like, please, God, please. And begging for help. There are so many people that do that every single day. So let's remember them in prayer.
Fantastic motivational, inspirational words right there, Coach. And your slogan, you say it all the time. Your players love it. I'm fired up.
Fired up.
You are fired up, and I'm always fired up. So that's why we got this synergy going all the time.
That's right.
So I think a great way to close the show would be to give everybody something fired up, a fired up SMTTT. So from Coach Joye Lee-McNelis and myself,
ready?
Let's give everybody a big fired up Southern Miss.
To the top. I am fired up, baby.
To the top, and I'm fired up too, Coach. Love you, Coach. We love you.